Hello, hello. Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba live. No one's on yet, which is fine. Usually we come on and no one's on, and then we just get started, and then people start to show up. So, no problem. We're here, and then hopefully you'll catch us on the replay or catch us later once we're off live. You can watch it again. So, how is everybody? Hello, Kenton. Say hello.
Hey,
My
folks.
mom could be on there. Just imagine that. Say, my mom could be on there. Bashir could be on
Your
there.
mom's not on there. Your
She
mom's
was
not
on the last time, believe it or not.
Yes, because she's
Hey, mommy in New
beautiful.
York, if you're watching. Say hello, Kenton.
Hello, mother.
Hello, mother. She's not your mother.
I know, mother-in-law.
She's your mother-in-law.
In-laws.
So how is everybody doing? I hope you're doing good. Definitely leave a thumbs up or a heart emoji or something. Let us know you're in the room when you come in or that you're watching us. We'd appreciate it. So, Ken, what are we talking about today?
Wait, what are we talking about? You set the subject. I don't know what we're talking about. I
Yeah,
come down from work and then
and you get hijacked,
I get
right?
hijacked. I hijacked, and plus, it's
All right, let's,
finals.
yeah,
So
it's finals, huh?
yeah, it's finals starting next week. Well, it started this week actually, but and we have final exams and then starting the next 2 weeks. So,
Yeah. Cool.
so I
So,
apologize if I may not seem to be all here, but that's normal
well,
most of the
we'll
time.
get him riled up to be all here. We'll get him riled up to be all here in a minute.
Right.
Anyway, as you see from the title, I thought I'd call this one Messy Relationships. I'm just going to throw some things at Kenton and see what he thinks.
Messy.
Messy, yeah. Lately, okay, just to give you some background or reference point. Lately, oh, someone's on, Kenton. Who's that?
Hey, hello, Taylor.
Taylor?
S. Taylor. Hi, S.
Okay. Hey, S. Taylor. So lately, my guilty pleasure when I should be going to bed or when I want to break is watching like Love and Hip Hop. I don't know if you know the reality series, and you can watch it on like YouTube. They're like short clips. I don't actually always watch the whole season or the whole show. And I just found it sort of almost fascinating, this other world of the hip hop life or the rappers or the entertainers and the producers and all the women and then you find, not to over stereotype, but it seems to me that a lot of them deal with a ton of infidelity. Like, it's hardly a relationship that you see where the man isn't cheating on the woman or the man has like 3 4 women. I mean, everybody's just
Hey,
cheating with
hello,
everybody.
Barbados.
And not that I find the cheating part fascinating. I find how they handle it or how they deal with it just interesting, and how a level of dysfunction is so normalized. So anyway, it got me just thinking, and I remember someone raising the question, like, you guys should talk about different types of relationships, like non-traditional relationships, because I think we're in a very traditional relationship, so to speak. Man, woman, married, committed. We don't have anyone in and out of our relationship. We're not having sex with other people, stuff like that. I'm just looking at your face, Kenton. You're like, where is she going? So, anyway, I'm just going to throw this to you, Kenton. What do you think of polyamorous relationships? And that's not quite the same. I don't know if I would say that's the same as people who are just cheating on each other. Um, when I think of, well, I'll let you answer. What would you say?
I,
Polyamorous relationships. And I'm not talking about polygamy per se,
well,
even though,
right.
isn't it kind of the same,
No,
similar?
well, it is and it isn't.
And I'm talking about Muslims who can have more than one wife, because that's polygamy. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you can have more
yeah,
than one wife,
yeah, it's
right?
polygamy.
I'm talking in the setting, say, of a
Which is it?
Western
Which is
relationship.
Yeah, because polygamy is illegal.
Right.
You can't.
Polygamy is illegal
Yeah, in the United
here.
States. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But obviously, having more than one wife, what do you call that term?
That's polygamy.
Yeah, right?
It's illegal. Polyamory or polyamorous relationships, people are not in a marriage,
Mm.
in a because again,
They're in a
this,
relationship, but they're not in
well,
a
yeah, they're
marriage.
not in a marriage.
Like,
So again, this is the thing is again, a marriage is a contract,
uh-huh,
right? It's a social and spiritual contract, if you look at it that way.
right,
But for some people, it's more of a secular contractual arrangement between two people.
mm-hmm,
And in it has all these implications in regards to assets and also inheritance, which many people don't even think about because no
right.
one's focused on the.
Right, but when people are cheating or they're looking for love elsewhere, I always feel like they're hardly thinking about inheritance and money, and
Well,
they're
no,
just
you
thinking
can.
about their private parts. And
Well, but that's not looking for love, is it? It's cheating and love. I mean, it's not necessarily the same thing.
no, it's not. No, that's why I always,
I
on a
mean,
side
I
note,
guess people fall out of love and they fall in love with someone else, but the majority of the time, I don't think data supports that cheating
right.
leads to love.
N-
The other person that's in that cheating,
mm,
or like they say, meretricious relationship, is that we call it.
what is a
And
meretricious
basically, it's a
relationship?
relationship that's based on sex.
Okay.
So in the legal field, it's called
I would say there are a lot
meretricious.
of people whose relationship is based on sex and, hardly anything else. That's why they're out there cheating. It wasn't based on anything else. Why are you making that
I
face?
mean, it's just that's where the word messy comes in. It's just that,
Right. I
it's,
mean, could you imagine yourself in a polyamorous relationship? Let's say
I
you
can't
with
even,
another woman,
I can't even,
or
you're a
here.
handful already. Why would I want to add to
Or
that?
or I decide that, you know
I
what,
can't
I
imagine,
want another man in the relationship
I
and I
can't
move him
imagine,
in. That's what I saw in one situation where they're
well,
been married for a long time, and then she has a boyfriend and the husband is okay with it, and they invite the boyfriend to live in the house.
so what does that have to do with me?
What you mean, what's that got to do with you?
That's them, ain't
No, no,
me.
no. So that's what I'm saying. That's my
You
scenario
bring
for you.
up, well,
I'm
guess,
bringing in a man in here and he's going to live with us.
well, you bring a man in, he's gonna live with us?
Yeah.
Right, that's shit. That would tell you right now. Hey, folks, if you got some kids on right now, this is time to get them to do some homework, go outside. The weather's great out here in North Carolina. You
Oh
know,
crap, I'm on here without my glasses. I
go
suddenly
to,
realized I
yeah,
can't see
that's
properly.
right. You can't see what you're talking about. All I know is like,
It's not gonna work for you.
hell no, it ain't gonna work for me.
So, like there might be some men out there that think, oh, well then, she can go, I don't have to deal with her all the time. I don't have to talk to her all the time. I don't have to have sex with her all the
I gotta
time.
deal with
You
another
know,
dude in my house, man.
yeah,
I
but maybe
gotta,
you guys are bros. You're like friends.
hey,
You
look,
become friends to take care of her.
Jesus, really?
Well, you know what? I'm just flipping it because I think that's how I think most men see it when they have two women and they want them
Look,
to be, quote, sister wives or friends and manage the
I
home and
mean,
things like that.
again, look. This is the thing. It's like there's someone for someone, and everyone has different needs. I mean, the one thing, again, like you said, it's a spectrum. Just like sexuality, you got this spectrum, right? And a lot of
Oh,
people,
please elaborate.
a lot of people live on this one end of the spectrum. Some
Uh-huh.
people are on this other end of the spectrum, and most people are in the middle. It's a bell curve, and then whatever. So I'm more of a traditionalist, so I kind of reside on the right side of the bell
I
curve.
always thought we were kind of liberal.
Kinda. There's what? See, that's the whole point. Liberal in
I'm
what
just
way?
playing
I don't
devil's
know what you're
advocate
talking
because you
about.
know
I
what? To
don't
be
know.
honest, though, I think when I was younger, I always thought of myself as pretty liberal about most things. And then when you have children, all of a sudden your values seem to come into play. And
Look at that.
what,
See, I
what?
couldn't deal with two men living with me. Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
I know, right? Two messy
Now,
ass
I
men,
was,
two men to take care of.
man, with big babies. I mean, it's just, you know what? What's interesting is actually, I was listening to a podcast, and
Can I come and be right back? Yeah, keep talking, keep talking,
no,
keep talking,
where are you
keep
going?
talking. They're right there. Don't be rude. I'm getting my glasses.
Yeah, see, you can't see. That's it. So anyway, so I was listening. I think it was Schultz. It was a podcast, and he had a guest on, and they were talking about she had a relationship with two men,
Ooh,
and basically,
I'm back.
basically that it's just emotionally tiring. See, after you get over the sex part, because again, many times that's very brief,
Right.
it's the other 23 and a half hours of the day and dealing with two emotions. Because whereas people are not void, they are not compartmentalized where it's just like, okay, this is my role and I just do this and stuff. It gets messy. And that's the whole
Right.
point of it, is just things get messy. People start becoming, more involved and starts, creating these relationships. And so you may think of things going one way and the other party is thinking things going another,
Right.
and it gets messy. Even if you're not in a marriage, it still becomes like, because especially when you cross financial,
Right.
sharing rent, sharing food, you start
Right.
start
That's the part.
co-mingling.
Right. That's the part a lot of people don't think about. Like this whole another thing with love and hip hop that I noticed, so many of the men end up having these children, side kids, if you want to call them that, or children out of wedlock, or children that are outside of their marriage or relationship. And then you find like now they're suddenly worrying about the women coming for child support and this and that. And I was just, I raised that to Kenton, and he was, explaining to me like all the legal stuff and how, within a marriage, it becomes so important to protect your assets when you have another family or relationship outside, because it's going to take away financially from your relationship, within your quote marriage, right?
Yeah, no, we had a comment that came in too, is that in a lot of cultures that have polygamous relationships,
Right.
that the men tend to be more financially wealthy. But and again, this is also, it's
Or at least
interesting.
they feel obligated
Well,
to.
but also in many ways, it's also a disparity or inequity, depending upon your perspective, because again,
Right.
it's cultural perspective of financial power. Because many times, in those
Right.
polygamous
Feel like you're
relationships,
sideways.
the women don't have economic power.
Right.
They tend to the home, and the laws in those countries dramatically favor the men in regards to economic power and ownership and stuff like that. So,
Right.
so there are those things as well. But again, it's like, again, it's not about saying, oh, this is wrong or this is right. It's just that, again, it's all contextual based upon one's cultural affinity.
So let's say you made a mistake and you ended up, let's say you went out of town, your guys or your friends took you to a strip club. You end up leaving with one of the ladies or women. She gets pregnant.
Hey,
Would
City.
would you tell me? Like, would you tell me that you had sexual relations with this person at some point? Do you think our relationship is strong enough that you would tell me? And what if she gets pregnant? Would you tell me like,
This is a horrific scenario.
it happens? I'm telling you, it's happening apparently quite a
Yeah,
lot.
it happens, but so what are you saying? I don't know what these other guys are doing.
No, I'm asking you.
What?
I'm not
If I did all those things,
Yes,
would I
I'm
tell you?
asking you.
Would I tell you? No, this is what'll happen. I'll tell you
What?
what'll happen. What'll happen is that you'll go out with your friends.
I'll go out with my friend.
Yeah, you'll go out with your friends, and you'll come home,
Oops.
and I'll move all my shit out.
You move all your shit out?
Because there's no coming back to that. I'm not because one, I'm not very good at sleeping with one eye open. I'm not gonna be like, because I already know you. I already know you. All I know.
You don't think
is,
I'm gonna be forgiving?
Hell no.
You don't think I'm gonna be forgiving?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely not. Nope.
No.
Exactly. What are you
You're
talking
right.
about? Like all
That's
these
why-
years, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why, honestly, in a way, it's like I don't understand women that take men back, that cheat repetitively. Like I can understand if your husband, let's say you are married and your husband cheats one time, but
So
when he,
does he get a pass?
I mean, depending on how strong your relationship is and how, how invested you are, sure, I could see getting over it one time. But you can't, I find out you do that stuff
Is that
more than
is
once, then
that
I'm stupid for staying
is
with you.
that
That's my
is
opinion.
that one time a year, or is it 1 year in 5 years? Like I
Whatever.
guess like, or is it one
One
time
time in
like?
your life with me.
That's
How
what I'm
about
saying. But
that?
I'm saying like
In
if
your
it is
life married to me.
right. So if it's one time with the one person, but it's always that one person, is that still considered one time?
Absolutely, because now you clearly have a relationship with
But it's
her.
one time. It's with that person
Uh-huh.
continuously. But it's one person.
Continuously. Right,
But it's
continuously.
one
Then you
person.
continuously have a
You said
relationship.
repeated cheater, but if I'm with
Yeah, you sleep with her more than once.
okay, see, so
Any female that you sleep with
all
more than
right,
once, after that one time pass,
so it's
then
okay,
I'm a doormat. I
so
don't value myself. That's why I'm going back to you.
so it's one time. It's not the one person. It's
Right.
one time per sexual encounter.
Kenton,
I'm just trying to understand the boundaries here. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to make sure that
uh-huh.
you know.
Now,
So I need to get two phones then.
yeah, get two
That's a clue.
phones.
If you want to know if you got a cheater, I don't know why someone, unless it's work related, to have
Right.
2 or 3 phones.
Right. I don't understand that
You know,
either.
you start having multiple things, and but see, like the password to my phone, right? So
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, right. Do you feel like you need to have your husband's passport,
or partner or spouse.
yeah,
Yeah, that's necessary. The other thing.
password, or your spouse needs to have your password? Is that necessary in a committed relationship?
Is it necessary or
Yeah.
is it, you know, I-
Or not that is it necessary. If you ask me for my password, am I obligated to give it to you
No.
just because we're married
No.
and vice versa?
but in my mind, I would say no. Say because I mean, if you give it to me because you want to give it to me, that's up to you. But I'm not going to pressure you to give it to me. Like I don't sit there and be like, "What's the password? What's going on?" I go into your phone.
Right.
I mean, you don't even. I mean, that's just. But see, again, that's what I'm saying.
'Cause-
Everyone's got these different
Right.
sensitivities. But that's the thing is that there's still, you have to respect boundaries, though. Just like I don't sit there and be like, "Who you calling? Who you talking to?" Right? Have I done that? No.
Not really. I mean, I think, sometimes, yeah, it's a fine line between,
But then again,
being honest and a fine line between your spouse being over controlling.
Yeah.
Because there's that too.
That's
There
a
are
red-
people
yeah.
who, it's not because you're cheating, they just want to know everything about you because they're married to, because they feel like somehow they need to control you and know everything at
Yeah.
every moment.
And that's a red flag. That's
yeah.
a red flag.
Right. So, no, I've never asked for your passwords because it's like I trust you, so I don't need to. But I do feel like if I did happen to ask you, you should give it to me. If I did happen to, I don't need it. I don't ask because I'm like, what the hell has he got to hide?
So the operative word you have is should,
Uh-huh.
which is a directive. I
Okay.
should give it to you
Right.
versus I can give it to you.
I don't know, Kent. I don't know. All I'm telling is you should give it to me.
I should.
Just like I should give it to you if for whatever reason you happen to ask, I think. I mean, I don't know, but then it's like, why would we ask? Obviously, we need it for something important. Maybe on your dying bed and you can't get to your phone and I need to go in there. Maybe.
Let me text the funeral director and
Maybe.
he better make sure I'm in the right box.
I don't know.
No,
but seriously,
no,
yeah, there's a fine line between
that's all trust issues
trust
and stuff,
and then
again,
control.
and again, but the point is that if it's not healthy, then that's the time where you.
How do you know when it's not healthy?
Well, one is that if you're doing things that are contrary to your own either mental health or your personal safety. So that's one thing. So if, for example, if you're getting gaslighted all the time where your partner is not supportive, they're demeaning you, they're belittling you, they're challenging you. Basically, it's like if it's like anything. If you're not happy, and I'm not talking about like la la la, but but if you are taken upon where you are, when you enter a relationship, and then while you're in it, how you enter it, and you're not feeling better of yourself prior to it, that means that something's changing into a deficit. You see what I'm
And is
saying?
it as simple as you're not happy? Because isn't it also this idea that it's not your spouse's job to make you happy? You know what I mean?
No, but it's not but your spouse shouldn't be assisting in making you unhappy either.
Right.
You should, here's an easy way. When you come home after
You're
work and you're not like happy, means that it's a sense of refuge, as a refuge. Or when you see the other person, you don't have a feeling of like, okay, this is a safe space.
Right.
That I am accepted for who I am, good, bad, or ugly, or that my imperfections is not a glaring issue. Is that, and I can see that person and I feel that,
Right.
then you're in a healthy space. But if you go and that person is, your first thought is like, I hope I'm okay. I hope this person isn't angry today.
Right.
I'm not.
A
You know
sense
what
of
I'm saying?
dread every time you see them.
A sense
It's
of like,
this-
okay, I hope something doesn't trigger them today. That's what I'm saying. It's just
Right.
like you can't.
Right.
I mean, that's not a healthy way to live.
Right. No, and the reverse or opposite to
Especially when
me
you
is
have
like
children.
they say when you walk in a room and that you look at someone, that person's face lights up. That's what I want to see, or that's what tells me that, we have a good relationship, or, that this is a positive feeling. Because sometimes, your children, you see your kids, they walk into a room and you light up. The same feeling you should have when you see your spouse, not dread and frowning and faces and,
Like when I see a beautiful hamburger with nice lettuce and tomatoes.
yeah,
and stuff.
that, like
I
that.
like that. It's like, wow.
When you light up when a plate of food comes to your table at a
like that. Hey,
restaurant, that smile.
Man, your brother lights up. He
Yeah, my
smiles.
brother likes food.
Yeah, he
Like
lights up.
like me, like
Yeah.
you. I
So-
don't know. You shouldn't even talk about how my brother likes food.
He
You
likes
like
it.
food too.
Yeah, I like food, but
Mm-hmm.
so if you think of your spouse as a big tamale or something like that, then maybe that'll shift things up. But, so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's like sometimes it's really as simple as that. I'm not.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. You take responsibility for your own happiness, but part of taking that responsibility is knowing and identifying things that don't make you happy. And not in a superficial way, but really it's something that's dysfunctional, that it's hurting and not helping. I mean, we all have, again, miscommunications, and there's going to be fighting and disagreements, but it's also how you do it.
Right.
I mean, if you go at it in a way that you're not communicating in a way that allows for recovery, but it's very vitriolic and it's hateful and it's hurtful, and then you never sit there and actually talk about it,
Right.
then yeah, it's going to be unhealthy, because then it's just going to build upon it and it becomes toxic. So that's what I'm saying.
Right. Right.
So and that's why when going back to the polyamory, you got two people
Why
with that.
this camera thing is bothering me that
I
it's
don't know,
off.
but when you got two people, now imagine having
Okay.
messy, toxic relationships.
All right, maybe that's more centered. Good.
I mean, messy, toxic relationships with now another person involved in a relationship. I mean, see,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. So it amplifies it.
Right. That's assuming
it's-
they're both toxic. But,
But-
is it possible that maybe there are people out there who can have, healthy relationships with more than one person?
Sure, I'm not saying that you can't. That's what I'm saying. It's a bell curve. It's like you're gonna have some people that can operate in some level, but
Right.
can that work for everybody? And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. And it's already difficult enough just on a one-on-one relationship. So adding all to that.
What do you
Yeah.
think of like a lot of the younger generation I've noticed that are not even into marriage anymore, or they frown upon marriage like it's not necessary, in that people should be able to just cohabitate or move from one person to another?
Yeah, I mean, that's all sounds, again, nice on paper, but our system's not set up for that. Because again, especially when you bring kids in the world. And
Right.
that's really where the challenge comes in, because everyone talks about this, and very few people really mention about how it affects children, and really how it affects the partner. Because guess who most of the time are the ones, the single parents, the majority of the time are women. That
Right.
doesn't, and that, again, there are single men, and rightfully so, that are raising children, you know, but the vast majority are women.
Right.
And unfortunately, they are subjected to a higher level of poverty and financial.
Because there are women out there that choose to be single and choose to raise kids, you know?
Well, yeah, sure. But again, talking about the bell curve, is that the majority? No. So I think that unfortunately, because again, in many ways, that's some of the challenges in having those type of
Right.
relationships. And marriages doesn't necessarily mean it, because again, just because you're married, but if it's toxic, that isn't good for the children either.
Right.
So,
But
so
in a
this would be better
wholesome,
than to be single,
right,
versus having a partner that, is toxic or is even hurtful to the children, So again, that's the case by case.
right. But
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
ideal world, you definitely still believe in marriage.
I think so, for a variety of different reasons. I
Like,
think, like having these uncomfortable discussions.
isn't
I
that
mean,
what life is about?
yeah. So, but but I think it's important. I just, again, I have, some just traditional perspectives. I think that, if it works, I think, marriage is again, it's a partnership on many different levels. If you're, fortunate to work it out. I just think it's just very challenging, and especially over time, because then some, people can grow apart.
Right.
And
People
it's work.
change. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's expected. I think,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I think actually it's naive. Part of the reason I think that a lot of marriages don't work is because they come into it thinking that this person is going to be the same person 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as if somehow the relationship should stagnate at where it is, or that person should be who they thought they were again in the future. I think it's better to understand that we're all going to evolve, and hopefully we evolve in the same direction,
Or devolve, yeah.
versus, I'm growing, you're not, or he's growing and you're not. That's where the trouble comes in. Or you're not communicating anymore like you used to. But I think, yeah, the bottom line is, I think when I think of marriage, I think it's the expectation that we're going to grow older together as we evolve into different people, hopefully better versions of ourselves, and that I can be accepting of whatever version of you that I get in time, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Why are you
I
laughing?
don't know, the way you said it, it sounds like what I get.
Well, no, you don't. I don't know what I'm going to get. You don't always know what you're going to get.
I think that's why it's a challenge. That's the thing, because
really, when you think
no,
back, did you know what you was going to get?
hell no. I wasn't
Exactly.
even thinking about what I'm going to get.
Right. You was thinking about
I
what
was
you
gonna-
just got.
I just got, and I hope I didn't get something else. But no, seriously. I mean, yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right about that. It's that, and that's the challenge of all that, is that it's work, and it also requires a lot of commonality, and also a lot of just forgiveness and patience, and grace. I mean, those are the fundamentals. Is that, are you willing to not only love this person, but forgive them, when there's misunderstandings, but at the same time, love them in all their imperfections, and and
Right.
and accept them for their truly authentic self. And I think that's the thing. If you can really do that, not when it's like, when it's easy, which is like, yeah, when the money's all there and
Right.
it's all fun and games. Because again, in life, things can take a turn, and that's really and that's really the thing. Is like,
Or that, especially I'm thinking as a female, you're with a man who loved you and liked what he got when you got married. And now, 2 kids later, 1 kid later, or just due to medical illness, your body changed. Perhaps you've put on a significant amount of weight, and now he's trying to, shape you into the person that he first married, or force you into this body that he thought he got. And, that creates a lot of resentment. I do see that quite a bit, where women feel like they have to change their bodies or improve, not because they want to, not because they're doing it for health, but they're doing it because their spouse feels that they need to look a certain way. And I always feel like that's so unfortunate, because he's not then seeing you for who you are or as a person, a complete person. He's just seeing you, he's objectifying you.
yeah, that's I understand that. I can understand that feeling, being objectified.
Okay, here we go with the foolishness.
What?
What do you mean by you can understand?
No, I understand.
How?
I mean, it's a heavy burden to be, a sex symbol. I mean, I totally understand that.
Yeah, he's silly. There's a term for people who are sexually attracted to people's just intellect. There's a term for that.
Yeah, sleeping.
No, it's not sleeping.
Oh.
I should be able to look at that, but obviously I'm on my phone. We're on the phone. But no, there's a term, like how people are attracted to different things. Sometimes it's not always just about the physical or, whatever.
So like.
What is that? Is somebody telling me what that is?
Yeah, they probably know. They just say exactly.
Right. Yeah, no,
Attracted
you can
to
be
what?
to intellect, to intelligence. The term is, what is it called to be sexually attracted to intelligence?
Rich.
What do you mean rich?
Rich, because how many times you see like these people are with some short fat guy, and he's rich. He rich. And,
you ain't rich.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you know what? You're rich. You're rich in many different ways.
Here we go.
So.
I don't even want. I'm going to leave now. No, see, now we start going down a path. Rich. How rich are you? This is rich.
No, on a superficial layer, people want to talk about rich as in money, but you can be rich in so many different areas.
Well, when the next time I take
you are a rich person.
When the next time I take you to a restaurant and they come and bring me the bill, and I just look at them and go like, how can I pay this? There's many different ways to say rich, not just money. Man, I might as well go to jail as soon as possible. I try to pay in like beads or something.
All right, what does it say?
Hey, can I pay for this meal with some wisdom and good advice?
Yes. If you learn how to monetize your wisdom, yes, you can pay with your
wisdom.
wisdom.
It still comes to money.
Right, you can convert that wisdom
so what
to
you're
money.
saying, it's like
yeah.
What attract? What?
Yeah, attraction to, let's say, intelligence is called what?
It's called sleeping.
No, it's not.
Attraction to intelligence.
Yeah, he's looking it up on his phone.
See, folks, we don't know everything. At least I don't. So that's why.
No, I did know for a long time. I do know. But I forgot.
Attraction to intelligence.
What's it called?
What? Sapiosexuality.
Yeah, exactly. Sapiosexual. That's what it's called.
You know what sapiosexual sounds like to me? You're attracted to monkeys. That's what that sounds like to me. Like sapien, right?
Sapiosexual.
Who comes up with that? Sapiosexuality.
Is this a C?
No, I don't know. That sounds like I'm messing around with some monkeys and stuff.
No, what does it say?
Hey, honey, I want to go to the zoo today. When are we going to go visit to the zoo?
I'd like to go to the zoo. Actually, that popped into my
like
head a few days ago. Let me touch it.
No. Sapiosexuality means that person is sexually attracted to highly intelligent people so much that they consider it to be the most important trait in a partner.
I do. I definitely do. Because I can't deal with dumb people.
No, but here it is. Here it is. It is a relatively new word.
Okay.
That's become more popular. You know who made these words up to say that? It's the person that's sitting in a basement somewhere going like, you know what? I'm a sapiosexual. It even sounds funny, right?
The vanity, right?
Right, sitting there. This person's gaming. Boy, hey, bro, I'm a sapiosexual.
So wait. Okay, if I were the same person, but I was dumb as hell, would you have been attracted to me?
How dumb are we talking
I'm
about?
real dumb.
Like you don't like dumb that you don't know how to brush your teeth dumb, or you're talking about dumb
No,
like
I can brush my teeth because you don't want nasty either.
okay, see,
But
so you're not dumb and
let's just
nasty, you're
say
dumb.
maybe, like how I'm special. Like I can't even, well, you know what? There are people, I should say that, because there are people who are mentally
That's
challenged.
different,
Right,
yeah.
that's different. That's not what I mean. But then there are people
So
that are just dumb. They just do stupid
it's
stuff,
not dumb. It's like, well, you
or
know,
slow, or
but
they're lower IQ. How about
well,
that?
yeah, but see, there's someone for everyone. See, that's what I'm saying because as long as you got people who are, love is love, right? So
Yeah,
I think it's really more about compatibility, right?
right.
So that's why if you got two sapiosexual people together, cool beans, right? And I think really that's what it is. It's like, see, I think that's what it is. People get, when you get caught up in, it's like a checklist. If this person has this, this, and this, and as we know, dealing with any type of list, you're gonna bound to miss something, right? So sometimes what it is that there's no perfect person. What it is out there. What is
Right.
it? But there'll be someone that's maybe perfectly suited for you.
Right.
Is that
Their
right?
imperfections are perfect
Because
for
we
you.
all are imperfect, and
Right.
people who walk around thinking they're perfect, that's their imperfection. Because
Right.
that's just hubris. That's just a ego. Many times they don't even match their reality. You know. But so the important thing is that if you are sapiosexual, just add that to your profiles out there. I don't know.
Thumbs up if you're a sapiosexual. I can't even
Sapiosexual. You can
say
say it. Yeah, right. And look,
sapiosexual. Sapio,
Yeah,
right?
sapios. Yeah. I don't know,
What
man.
other types of sexual are there? What kind of
There's
other
a
attractions
there's a
are
lot.
there? Like what? You
Okay, then
know,
it says allosexual.
what is that?
Is this is someone who feels sexual attraction to anyone regardless of sexual orientation.
I thought that was pansexual.
See, that's what I'm saying. Allosexual sounds like someone that's just like likes
Yeah, I
aloe
thought.
vera.
No, I thought that was pansexual because I remember many, many years ago, I didn't know the difference between bisexual and pansexual. And apparently,
All
pansexual are
right.
people attracted to
All
everything.
right. You gotta love this stuff that just pops up. Here's go. How can you tell if someone's sapiosexual? All right. So, okay,
All
folks.
right, so you're
So,
gonna put on your professor hat now,
all
right?
right.
Pay
So,
attention,
all right. So
class.
we're gonna listen. So if you check off on these things, you might be sapiosexual. All right. So, and for those AMR listeners,
You're gonna whisper it. You're so retarded.
I'm trying to meet our audience. For those AMR, thank you.
They can't hear you.
Okay, so one. Listen to this. This is number one on the list. A sapiophile. Now it's a sapiophile. Loves owning their own library. Really?
What?
Whoever even thinks of that? How many of you have just woke up and said, you know what would make my day? If I owned a library.
I mean, anybody can own a library or have a library of books, right? That
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
mean
but
they're
owning it. I mean,
Oh,
like, we have a
whatever.
library, right? That's number one. Okay. They enjoy long, intimate, and eye-opening conversations. So long, intimate, but eye-opening. Eye-opening conversation might not even be that good because that's like, like someone said, ever had it where someone says something to you and you're like, no shit. It might not be a good thing. You don't say, or WTF, and your eyes are like opening up. It might not be a
Right.
good conversation.
All right, what else?
They have a photographic memory.
Hmm.
I'm not. They love debating. That sounds like someone that argues all the
Right.
time.
That used to be you. That used to be you.
Yeah.
You used to argue just to argue.
Yeah. What an idiot. Yeah. That's not.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But I don't necessarily feel like those things, are so specific
But see,
for
this
this
is
one
no. That's what I'm
quality.
saying. This is a generic. They're extremely curious people, but
Everybody's, well, I shouldn't say everybody's
everyone,
curious, but
yeah.
a lot of people are curious.
Because you want some people that you want to explore the world with. You don't
Right.
want someone that's But maybe if you're that type, again, it's like compatibility. They love education. I think it's really not education because that's more of a formal. It's really more about what about those that love learning?
Right.
Because it's versus education, which is a more formalized process.
Right,
Versus
because I would say that I love learning. I'm not
Yeah.
sorry that I would just say I love education, but is
Yeah.
it just a play on words?
No, no, because it's really a different process, in a sense of exposure to
Right.
information. Because there's people that are lifetime learners.
Right.
So and people with open minds.
Right.
I mean, well, I would hope people have an open mind because if you're curious about the world, they kind of go hand in hand. If you're
Right.
closed-minded, you're not going to explore the world. You're not going to question things.
But there's a lot of people who are closed-minded, which doesn't necessarily mean just because you're closed-minded that you couldn't be sapiosexual either. But I would say a lot of people are closed-minded.
So then what's the opposite of a sapiosexual
Right.
or sapiophile?
Right. I'll give you my definition of the opposite. The opposite would be someone who is just so superficial that they don't care how you think or what you think. It just depends on how you either look or how you carry yourself. They're not interested per se in your values or anything like that. Again, it's just purely physical.
Man, this stuff is like.
But that's an extreme.
This is confusing. I don't know.
Their physical attraction is still important, in my opinion. Yeah, physical attraction is definitely still very important. You can't just be attracted to what the person's intellect. I mean, I'm just saying that for me is up there, but it's not everything. What are you laughing about, Boo?
I don't know. This is just the whole thing. It's just, So, I mean, I think it's just an aspect of it. I mean, because again, people are attracted. And then again, when you're in a long-term relationship, things change and shift and stuff.
Right.
I mean, intellect is one of those things where, yeah, it's a continuum. I mean, again, depending upon areas and function and stuff. So,
As a guy, how important is physical attraction to you, or not important?
well, no, I think what is attractive is when a person is confident in themselves. To me, that's attractive because that means that whether it's that they have an internal balance of who they are and they're centered. So versus having to seek external validation of their worth. The society view me as attractive. I find it more attractive when an individual is confident. Hey, whatever. It's like I love me for me.
Right.
And if you accept me, you would love me for me.
Right.
So versus some ideal that is again. There's some people that will disagree and say, no, I need someone that's good. Then that's what you need, and
Right.
so that's what I'm saying. That's the compatibility. I think what it is when it's not aligned. When they don't have compatibility alignment, and what happens many times is that one partner tries to realign the other individual, and that creates conflict.
Right.
So if the other individual is not really a
Or they
workout
move
person,
apart, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the other person says, "You got to work out," and instead of making it into a fun time together thing, it becomes more of like, you need to do this in order for this. It becomes more transactional.
Right.
And-
What I can't stand is when I see these spouses that say, yeah, you need to do this in order to make me happy. Especially typically it's men saying that to women. If you did this, this would make me happy. Or
not women.
I wouldn't respond this badly if you didn't do this and didn't do that. And I was like,
so you're saying it's men versus?
well, in the case where it's men versus women,
I-
not to say that women are always right. No, they're not. But a lot of times, I think men are a big part of the problem.
Really?
And women that are incredibly either passive or passive aggressive or just don't stand up for themselves. I hate to see that too.
Yeah, I think people in general are part of the problem. It goes back and forth.
Yeah,
I don't think
male, female.
I don't think
Right.
it's a gender
Right.
specific. I think at many times it's also how we communicate. Again, these are
Because
things.
we communicate differently.
Well, yeah,
male and
absolutely.
females.
Yeah, on one side, I agree with that, that, and then also that's impacted also too by familial patterns, how you grew up, how your family communicates, your
Ah, my
exposure.
thing is doing low battery. Please don't do that. Let's
Yeah,
see. Low battery, yeah.
yeah,
So hopefully you can still see us.
yeah.
The
So,
light's bad, I know.
yeah. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying, and that's another part of the compatibility is also how you communicate. And many times when you have these whirlwind relationships, those things. But and I think too is like but on the other side too, I think too is that when people are also looking at even economic status, people, when they say I want someone that'll provide for me and stuff like that. And sometimes there could be someone that's actually very compatible for you. They're just not in perceived position. Say you're a professional, but that the other individuals is in a in a more service blue collar position. Uh, is that something that is going is a deal breaker? I don't know. Some people they feel like it is. Other people are like, no, I don't mind someone that has in a different industry or in a different place as long as that we are, like you say, emotionally growing together. So I
Right,
mean,
and share similar values.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, I don't know because we haven't really been in that situation per
no,
se.
but what I'm saying
Right.
is that, but I think that's what for these times. I think that's
Right.
what also impacts and challenges relationships. So even when people go online dating and stuff, there's some that conflict. That's why sometimes people go and try to date, um,
Internationally or
internationally and stuff like
abroad.
that. Is to
Right.
because again, it's that kind of you know. Trying to avoid that conflict between those type of economic
What do you think
disparities.
about, by the way, what do you think about online dating? Anybody here? I'm gonna turn this over this way because I feel
Yeah.
like the light was
Yeah.
doing something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
that's
sun's
fine.
starting to
Yeah,
go
the sun is going down, but oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm liking this light. But yeah, what do you think about what do you think about online dating? Is that becoming a little bit more what is the word? Acceptable, not necessarily standard, but it's becoming, I don't know, a little bit more common for me now, seeing like, especially women as they're getting older and maybe they have had careers and, it took them a while to find someone, or maybe they just weren't looking for someone. And now they're in this, hurry to get married or to be in a relationship. So they're turning to online dating. What do you think of that? And how well do you think that really works? Um, I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I see quite a few peers that are doing that or have done that. Um, I don't know. Sometimes I try to put myself in that position where what if I, as the same person, what if I have never gotten married and never, had anyone? Would I turn to online dating now to find someone? Would you? Would you, by the way?
Yeah, what?
If we weren't together, we'd never gotten married, would you?
Do online dating?
Yeah.
No, I'd be with somebody else.
Mm.
Let me think about that. Let me see here.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to think about it, but let me think. See, with online dating, you can date like a lot of people.
Right.
I don't even know if that's really dating. See, that's the thing. I just, that's online communicating. It's not even dating to me. It's like, it's because
Well, you're going back and forth. Nowadays
yeah,
with
that's,
Zoom and cameras,
exactly.
it's not just the phone. You're
Yeah,
looking at each
yeah,
other,
and that's I call them meetings.
video chatting or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, but that's
Video sex, even they're doing that.
I don't know how that works. Unless you mess up your computer screen. I don't. I mean, again, it's not. That's why ultimately you end up having to still go there.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's even hard for me to imagine that now. As much as I love social media and being online and stuff like that, in a real relationship with a partner, I don't know if that would have worked
And
for
it's
me.
also complicated by the fact that you also, and so many, talking about from the feminine side, but from the male side, as men, there are many where one can argue there's a disparity of in regards to economic,
What
because
you
you have
mean?
men, because men are many times are looking and going to um, countries and stuff like that there's an amount of abject poverty and stuff like that, and so it creates that because in some levels
Do you think
the
they were
man
looking at it economically, or they were looking at it
well
because that would just it just seems like there are more young women or young desperate women trying to leave
listen
poor areas.
listen what you just said.
Right, so
Young
they took
desperate women that
advantage,
just
they took
right you just
advantage of that situation, but it's not
well
that the men are taking advantage. Those women are
they're
also
taking
girls putting themselves out there
well
just to come to the
Well,
US a lot of
because
times.
that's what I'm saying. It's the platform
Mm,
allows for that. If you had taken that platform away, it wouldn't. It's like a marketplace.
right,
You're creating the nexus is where these two interests meet, and in many ways allows for exploitation, possible
right. I
exploitation.
guess I'm trying to figure out who's exploiting who, you know.
Well, exactly, and that's the part of the debate. Just like any type of contract. Well, she knew what she was getting into,
Right. And what,
right? But does she? Does she really know? Because
right.
again, online, you present yourself as this nice individual,
Hmm.
and then she comes over here, and then this is the economic disparity. Oh, she can't go to school. She can't get an education. Because again, in your mind, what you're looking for was someone
Right.
that fit a
And we're thinking like about like 90 Day Fiance, that show 90 Day Fiance,
Well, I
right?
wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, that's an
Like
example.
that. That's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
example,
yeah,
like
that's an
the young
example.
Russian girls coming here, or the young African girls, or whoever, or even the young girls from Ukraine getting married to American men. Um, there's that. But I actually initially wasn't even thinking about like the foreign women. I was thinking about online dating with someone in your country, you know.
Well, yeah, but I think, again, I don't do it, so I don't have no ideas. I mean, I mean, again, like I say, it's like, you're trying to broaden, your marketplace. That's really
Right.
what it is,
Hasn't worked out for you in your,
because again, again, studies have shown and is that, there's a saying, it's like, you want to know your future, look at your circle. I
mm,
mean, that's the thing. So if you say, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, if your network, that's your circle, and if you take a look at it and you see that if there's some challenges there, that's going to also challenge in many ways your development of, and so that's the thing. So, the dating is to expand that, especially if, for example, if again going back to like in many ways the economic disparities. So from a male perspective, say for example, you live in a city, say New York City,
okay.
right? And where there's tremendous amount of wealth, but there's tremendous amount of poverty there. And you're blue collar. Say you work, say you work in a service industry.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay, but again, you don't make a lot of money. Now you're trying to date.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? So there's some limitations in regards because again, you're trying to expand your circle, but it's restricted in a sense by economic
mm,
challenges. So online dating allows you in many ways to kind of expand that,
right.
you know. So you can go outside of New York and you can go into other states, you can go other areas, and hopefully the idea is that you'll meet someone that is in a similar economic bracket
Mm-hmm.
that
So
you're
you're for it.
for. What?
So you're for it.
I
Or you're
don't.
supportive of,
I'm not supportive of anything. It's just that it is what it is. It's just a tool. The thing is, what I'm
right.
saying, it's like with any tools, if it's not, it doesn't have some checks and balances and stuff, we see it, it can lead to exploitation, it can
Right.
lead to nefarious activity.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like in some places, organized crime is taking it, where, oh, you're the best, send me some money, I love you, and then they're doing it
Right.
and they're just ching, 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 and bringing that money in.
Right.
And so do you blame the online dating for it? Not necessarily, but again, like I say, it's like anything. It is a tool that can be manipulated and utilized and stuff like that. So that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. It's a mixed bag. So it's like
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I just thank God that we didn't have to go through that, you know. It's like the world is changing, and
So it's nothing wrong with it. It's just
right.
like I say, yeah,
It's just interesting. I think this other way to
yeah,
get into a
yeah. I mean,
relationship,
if it works, it's great. Good. Because
right?
again, the fundamentals still have to be the same.
Right. Eventually, you still have to meet.
Yeah,
Eventually, you
yeah,
still have to, yeah, meet in person and make sure that you are physically attracted to that
yeah, yeah,
person,
yeah.
and
Or
that your values align, and etc.
or you're sapiosexual or sapiophile. Yeah, yeah. You learn something. See, you learn something every day. That's why we're here. So next time you're at an office party or something, and someone brings up, "Hey, I love him for his mind," you can just say, "You're a sapio sexual." Well, you gotta say it together because if you pause, then it makes it weird. You know, hey, you're just a sapio sexual. Yeah, it doesn't sound right, right? No.
It's silly. Anyway, I was asking totally different subject. I asked prior to coming online if anyone had any questions, but I didn't ask early enough. Someone saying something there?
Oh, you count your blessings that you found each other.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, we found each other,
Yeah,
right? Isn't
found,
that
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah.
Of all the people in the world, you ended up with me. Is that crazy?
Well-
Or me, of all the people in the world, I could have, let me go into my Nigerian now. Bad African accent. I could have, no, okay. I could have married an African man. I could have had a black man. I could have had all kind of men.
You still can.
I could have had an African man and
You
a
still
Jamaican man. I could have had all kind of men, but I ended up with you. How is that?
God knows.
You know?
You know.
It's so funny.
Because God has a sense of humor. I
Yeah,
have no
God
idea.
definitely has a sense of humor.
So I don't know.
But to be honest, I think, you know, what we have so much in common, besides the superficial. I mean, I remember always knowing that I wasn't going to be with someone that was, you know, full-blooded Nigerian. I just knew that. From I was very young, I knew that I wasn't going to be with someone that wasn't mixed. And it didn't mean I didn't know their race. I just knew that they would probably have to be multicultural, because I guess because I was multicultural, I just felt like that's who I would find relatable, or that's what I was attracted to, because again, you can't tell people what to be attracted to. So yeah, you know, I definitely thank God that of all the people in the world out there, I ended up, you know, spending
You
my
know what?
life with you.
You know what's really good is
Right.
that this is recorded, right?
Right.
So basically, I can use this
I
as
could delete
evidence.
it, though.
I
I
can
could
use it as
delete it.
evidence 10 years from now.
Yeah, but I can still delete it.
You know, just like in the Johnny Depp
I
trial
know, that's
going
crazy.
on. You know, these things. I mean, that's why people record stuff. You know, so I'm going to say that your honor. She thanked God.
Yeah, I thank God. I thank God that you gave me 3 kids.
So I want half.
It's just half of what?
Half of nothing.
Exactly.
I want half of nothing just for the principle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. You see how you distracted me? I was saying
What?
totally
I
different.
distracted
Someone
you.
asked like what vacations we were going on, or vacation ideas. I know, totally unrelated.
Oh.
And I was thinking to myself, hell, Kenton don't got any vacations coming up because he's got school and work and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
but we're gonna try to pull him away,
Well,
hopefully.
yeah, you know, once this is over, and then you know, that's probably what it'll be the next time, is that for those that are like, what is it like to, you know, go back to school and, you know, change careers per se and stuff like that. All I can tell you is that you just think long and hard about it. So, I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah, do it. You know, don't wait. You know, when you have the chance, do it. You know, but it doesn't get easier. So anyone that sits there and goes like, oh, you know, you can switch gears, it's like, those gears start to get a little rusty and stuff.
But I don't think anybody's perception in general is that it gets easier as you get older to change.
No, I guess it's
Or
harder.
to go back to school. I think the reason most people don't, or they think about it, but they don't actually go through with it, is because they're afraid of how difficult it's going to be.
Oh, well, yeah, you should be afraid. But see, that's healthy because then
Mm-hmm.
that means you're thinking about it. But then because then that means you're not going into it just blindly.
Right.
Because then when you commit, you have thought about it enough, but then you are pushing through your fear to do it.
Right, but the operative is you got to push through that fear.
But you got to push through it, yeah. Because again, yeah, but if you're just waiting for the right time or moment, no.
There's no right time.
Not particularly, no. I mean, because it's a challenge, and so that's why you have to, really think long about it. But that's a whole nother episode right there.
But the truth is, whether you do it or whether you don't do it, whatever this thing is that you think you need to do or to advance yourself, you're going to get older. So that, the fact remains that, so rather you get older and get done what you need to get done as you get older, versus you get older and that 3 or 4 years that you could have spent doing whatever it is that you need to do still isn't done.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like if it's something that you really want to do, explore the options and then do it.
Right.
Because that's the thing. Because it's tougher than to look back and say,
right. Regret is
I
worse than failure.
Yeah.
Because what you
trust me, I failed a lot in my life.
To be
so
failure,
as
really
they say,
failure,
it's a lesson. And lessons. Failure is it's a process. It's not really failure is when you give up.
Right.
Because then you stopped. So then it becomes finite. It becomes But if you struggle and you win some, you lose some, but you're constantly moving, like the myth of Sisyphus, is that you're constantly pushing up, and even though in some ways it may seem futile, but it is in that process that's where we gain our nobility and our where we expand ourselves as human beings. So that's the deeper stuff. Do you feel attractive now?
What?
Being a sapiophile, does that make you feel attractive? See, folks, it doesn't work. Try it. The next time when you're out or when you're talking to your partner, see if you throw some words out there, agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia means fear of being out
But
in crowds.
But what I'm saying is that those big words, does that make you feel tingly?
Yes, Kenton, I'm all tingly.
All
so let's
tingly?
Turn the camera off and get to it.
You're
You're so rude.
I'm trying to say, buzzwords. What's another one?
It's not a word. It's not a word. There's no trigger word. It's not a word. Anyway, y'all.
Stupid.
I don't see us going on vacation anytime soon, right? I mean, I might go somewhere.
You might go somewhere, yeah, exactly.
But Kenton's not going to be able to, not in a long time.
No.
But before you know it, 1 year. You got 1 more year. I'm so proud of him. So proud of you. I got 1 more year of law school, and of course, yes, we don't know what the future holds.
I got past my finals for this semester.
Right, but he's doing good. He's doing good as expected. Right.
Yeah, I'm still in school.
He's doing good as expected.
Right.
I'm very proud of him.
Well, we'll see, but no. So yeah, so you just keep again pushing for your dreams and don't give up. So. So we didn't really talk about messy relationships, did we?
We started off.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
We were talking about
drama.
being polyamorous. Or having baby daddies and all that stuff.
That's just, again, I always think about the kids and I think about those outcomes. And it's
but
just
the problem is a lot of people don't think about the kids.
And that's the thing. And so it's, again, you got to think about those things,
right.
and just, always try to find relationships that help you grow and you grow together. And if not, get counseling, take care of yourselves, and don't do anything that's going to hurt yourself or the children. No man or partner is worth that. You
What
know?
if you don't have kids? You know, there are people in toxic relationships that don't have kids.
Same thing. It's not worth your own mental health in your relationship because there's a lot of fish out in the sea. You know,
Yeah,
like they
but
say,
sometimes, you know, again, playing devil's
or
advocate,
monkeys
when
in a tree.
you get older, you feel like it's difficult to find someone.
Man, there's someone for somebody, man. That's the thing.
But you got to go and be
That's it. That's
actively,
it. It's like,
you know.
yeah, it's like you can't catch fish if you don't fish, right? See that? I just dropped some wisdom. How do you
Yes.
feel? You feel tingly?
Kenton,
You're not a
behave.
sapiophile. You're not a sapiophile. It's terrible. It doesn't work.
Anyway,
All
you
right.
guys, I look forward to bringing a vlog tomorrow. That should be fun. I went and got to meet a whole bunch of new people at an organization or group
Hey,
called
Margaret.
Thrive. So I'm really happy to have met a whole new set of people here in the area. And I'm going to be sharing that video with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see people doing local businesses, you know, and
Right, yeah, just
yeah, local businesses, and you know, we're here to support that and entrepreneurship, you know,
Right.
and that's the thing. I think that's another exciting thing is that, you know, again, talk not just education, but if you have a dream or you have something, go ahead and work it out, you know, and figure ways to you know, explore your dreams and make it happen. So
right. I think
yeah.
every one of us has that entrepreneur spirit in
Yeah.
us, or we have that thing that we can either teach or sell.
Yeah.
I think we all have it in us.
Yeah, we all have
A lot of people don't
creatives,
realize
just
that,
yeah,
but we all have something
different
to
ways to
teach,
contribute, yeah,
right?
and
Or
to make a
to
difference,
sell, or to make, or create, whatever. But yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little random sit down with us.
Yeah, it's just you know,
It's just for me to
random.
get Kenton out of his study hole, you know,
Work and study,
because I'm
yeah.
sure you guys you don't see as much of him on the vlog as I would like. So for people who think, oh, she don't like to show her husband, or, you know, it's only her. No, not by choice. I really want more of him on camera, but, you know, I also have to respect that he has work and his studies, and it can get a lot.
Yeah, and again, it's also like, you know, I'm palatable in like small bites, so maybe that might be for the best. You know? So, you know, but I don't. But again, folks, you know, again, we really appreciate your comments and you know, any thoughts or any topics, just, you know, throw it out there, and just, you know, it can be, you know.
Right. Give me some structure next time. So leave you in the comments what you would like us to talk about next time.
Is it King Solomon? Is that a real word, or you make a joke? I'm going to Google that.
What?
Oh wait, at King. Oh, the sapiophile. No, that's a real word.
It's
That's
a real word.
It's a real word. Go ahead, Google it, and then you'll read
It's a
it, and
real
then let us
word.
know what you think. But
Yeah.
all I know is that my online experiment is that it's not triggering anything, so I'm gonna have to like work on that. Abracadabra. No, that's not big. See, I tried a dumb word. It didn't work either.
Right,
So, yeah.
right. All right,
All right.
say bye.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Be safe, and we'll keep in touch, and we'll try next Friday again. All right. Take care. We love you guys.
Bye. Definitely let me know in the comments, though, what you want us to talk about next time. or it'll be some more random crap.
Yeah. Meretricious relationships.
What does that mean?
Again, relationships based on sex.
Oh, right. Meretricious. Meretricious. Spelling bee. Can you spell meretricious?
No.
You can't spell it? All right. I got to go Google it. I got to go Google it.
All right. Take care,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Okay, you got to turn it off.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, I keep
See?
telling you that. X.
So obviously that's not working.